Hello, here I am with a new battle report on Age of Sigmar. 2000 points battle report, Stormcast Eternal versus Death. This was the third game in the local tournament that we played in the Games Workshop store of Brussels. Remember, 8 players on 4x4 tables. And I won the first 2 games, one minor, one major victory, and now I was playing in table 1 for the winning of the tournament. So the one that is winning this battle will win the tournament. I play against Death Army, and he won the previous tournament. He won the previous tournament also with Death. So let's see how this goes. It's promising to be very interesting battle. The scenario we are going to play is the gift from heavens. Is the one that you have. Well, it's a random. The objective is appearing randomly at the end of or at the beginning of the turn 2. So it's appearing randomly in your deployment zone. And for each turn that you hold in this objective, you are scoring 2 points, 3 points, 4 points. So you're scoring the same points as the turn that you are. So it's important to score at the beginning, but it's more important to score when we get close to the end of the battle. So yeah, I will try to see. So let's see how this goes. It's interesting. It's the first time I was playing this scenario. So my list, just as a reminder: Celestial Prime, Lord Celestian on Dracoth, Knight Venator, Knight Heraldor, Lord Castellan, Lord Relictor. Then 2 units of 5 Judicators, 3 units of 5 Liberators, Prosecutors with Javelins, Retributors, and Glyph Hound. My opponent is playing with Archon the Black, Mortis Engine, Witch Knight, Necromancer, Tomb Banshee, 40 skeletons, 5 Hex Wraith, 3 Spirits Host, and 5 Black Knights. And he's playing a couple of formations. I don't know the names, sorry for that. But it's the formations that it's giving plus additional movement to him and yeah, some small bonuses. And let's go to the deployment. And you see this, yeah, he deployed quite symmetrically. He's my opponent's right flank. He deployed almost every half of his army in his right flank, and the other half of the army in the left flank. In my case, I deployed more or less my army in the middle, putting a unit of liberators in each of the sides. So my plan here is I deployed in the middle. I wait on turn 2 to see where the comet is coming through, and then I will swift my army up to this objective. So yeah, this was my base plan. Try to avoid, and then try to hold my objective. So my plan is try to hold my objective, score the points, and use the Celestial Prime to avoid that he's scoring at least one of the turns, and just by doing that, try to win the battle. Let's go to turn 1, and he goes first because he has less units than me. So, and he moved ahead with everything. He has these skeletons. Just it was a long time to move all these skeletons. Moving 80 skeletons. Mainly he moved everything towards me and really not additional things. So here we see the other side before moving. And there he's just moving everything to the front. Here we see the other side. So seeing this wall of skeletons coming to you, really he's have much more numbers than me. And yeah, here we see these skeletons go slower because the other ones have the additional movements thanks to the formation. And this is how I hold. This is what I was explaining. This is before I move. I just hold all my army in my backfield, and I will try to shoot as much as possible in my turn. It was a long time looking him moving pieces on the table, and this is where he's end up his first turn. He just moved everything there. I think he did some magic here and there, but not really important. And then it comes my turn. I move one of my units of liberators, try to at this point I don't know how to deal with 80 skeletons. I don't know if my army have the capacity to kill these big numbers, because in top they have a very good bravery. So you have to kill a lot of them to cause them to fail by bravery. So really you need to do a big damage to them. And they are boosted. All these skeletons are boosted. The ones in my left, they have 3 attacks with all the boosts. And the ones in my right have 4 attacks, and they attack 2 times per turn. Because I think I don't know exactly how it's working. I don't know the details, but this is the result. So really, they do a lot of attacks. They can almost eliminate any of my units. So my objective is just put the Liberators to slow down them as much as possible and try to see where my comet is coming to. So here we see how he's advancing. Also, the head wraiths are advancing quite fast, and the Black Knights. And I did the shooting. I blast with the horn, and I did some mortal wounds to some of his characters. I was quite happy, and then with the shooting, I killed one of his characters, but he just come back from the death with these 3 wounds. So it's the first time I was playing against death. Some things that were new for me. Not the best matchup for the final battle, but at least it was a good battle for my learning. So I know that I need to even kill more them, because you kill them and then they just reappear, and then it's difficult to kill them all. Yeah, here we have. I also did one wound or a couple of wounds on my Liberators due to the blast of the trumpet. Really, the Knight Heraldor is great in all these battles. He's doing very well, and he's doing wounds in all these battles. So I will say he's paying back the points I'm spending on. And yeah, this was at the end of my turn. I really moved in my right flank where the Liberators were completely alone. I moved them a little bit backwards. I was hoping that the comet is falling in the middle, is where I have more chances to hold. If not, I'm going to be screwed up. So I will see how I move all my army. So I need to really look in where the comet will fall in the next turn. And we go into the turn 2. And I was lucky to win the initiative. So this is just showing the turn 2, sorry. And the comet falls in the side that I have less less units. So just you see here in front of these Liberators. So now I have to move to shift all my army to this flank. So I start by moving my Liberators in that flank to the front as much as possible, but you see all my army is almost in the middle of the battlefield, so I will need to move all my army to my right flank. And here in the right flank in front, you see what I have. I have 40 skeletons, the head wraith, the spirit host, and the mortis engine. So not, yeah, it's a big deal there. So as I said, I start moving all my army to the right flank. So what I did is I ran with the prosecutors to have them in position. I moved the Knight Venator there to give some shooting to start protecting the objective. I also ran with the Griffhounds to put them just behind the Liberators, and the Liberators that were in that flank, they just ran to the front. They ran a lot, so I put them in. I make a bubble that he cannot go into 6 inches of my objective. I also move my Lord Celestian on Dracot and my Retributors to this flank, and I leave alone at the end the other 2 units of Liberators and the Judicators just in the middle to give some shooting. Try to do some damage, try to make him slow. So my plan here is, let's make a bubble, let's make him almost impossible to take out my points, try to resist as much as possible, and in my opponent's in my next turn I will come with the Lord Celestian and I will score the point in his deployments on his meteor, because he's advancing with all his army, so he don't care about the comet in his deployment zone. I think he's planning to score him only just at the end and try to overrun my army. So again, I blast the horn again on the middle scenario. I kill, I think this time I kill definitely one of the characters. I killed the other one, but he returned from death. So really, these guys are really resilient. But at least one of the White Knights was off. I also have, at this moment, I think I did almost 6 wounds on the Archon the Black. So all these mortal wounds were, and I killed one of my liberators. Because again, I rolled 2 times 6 inches away from this scenario. My liberators are about 4 inches. I didn't want to move them back because if not, I'm giving too much terrain. I killed some skeletons, but I think this is more anecdotic than any other thing. So I just deploy like that. I want to avoid that he can go into the range of my objective and try to hold there as long as I can. And here he starts doing his movement, and he decides not to hold his objective and move everything against me. So really, this is a big. Yeah, when you see all these skeletons coming to you, it's quite scary. And I think I get impressed by that, and I make some mistakes due to it. So you can see I'm trying to protect as much as I can my objective by putting layers, and I will try to put the retributors on the objective. These are the unit. This is the unit that can really give more protection there. And now he start moving ahead. So this is the movement he's doing his hero phase. These guys can move 4 inches before any other. And then they end up there, not too far, so they are in charge distance. And also, he did one thing that taking me by surprise. He teleport the Hex Wraith with the Mortis engine and put them in front of my Judicators. So he's planning just to try to kill all my Judicators and eliminate my supporting fire on the close combat. So here we see he's really closing the gap very fast. The Head Wraith and the Black Knights are coming very fast to me, and also this 4 inches movement, additional movement on the skeletons is good. The other weak point of, you see Arkham the Black is just behind the skeletons. One of the weak points of the Stormcast is that they don't have sorcerer, so you cannot unbind, and on top he's really far away, so the boosting spells are difficult to unbind because you have to be at 18 inches of your opponent, and the opponent, if just using the boosting spells, he can be very far away. So here we see the Spirit Host moving ahead against my Liberators. Okay, here we see them. The Head Wraith moving there. And yeah, the other flank. So I'm really surrounded, and now I just wait for the charges to come. And all the charges come. The Head Wraith charge a lot, so in the way that they can surround and charge to my back. And then, yeah, he was a very smart movement from my opponent because now the skeletons have free weight also to charge on top. In the next turn, his other units of skeletons failed into the charge, and the unit in the right flank ran, so he cannot charge with that unit. So only the unit in the left tried to charge and fail, and the Black Knights charged the Liberators on my left flank. So the 2 units of horses charge, and the Spirit Horse also charge onto my Liberators. So here we see the charges of before the combat. And here we see the Spirit Host charging on the line I put of Liberator. Okay, so this is why I try to protect my objective. And yeah, and here is the result. He clipped also the Retributors in combat, so what was not the best thing, because now the Retributors cannot go to protect the objective. And yeah, and at the end of the combat, I forgot to make pictures, sorry for that. In the left, I will go from left to right. So in the left, my Liberators hold against the Black Knights. I think I killed 1 Black Knight, he killed 1 Liberator in return. Not a big deal there. The Head Wraith did a good carnage on my Judicators, but in return I killed 1 or 2 of his Head Wraith. And then the Spirit Host completely bounced against my Liberators. I don't think he did. I think he did kill 1 of my Liberators, and in return I did damage in 1 of the Spirit Host. I hold all my line, not Battle Shock, especially because I had the bubble of the Lord Celestan, and then the unit that is very far past the leadership, the Battle Shock test without any casualty. So not too bad, but I don't have a space to move. So with that we go into the turn 3. Yeah, we go into the turn 3, and in the previous turn I scored 2 points, and my opponent decided not to score any points. He didn't want to hold his own objective. So with that we go into the turn 3. And yeah, I did my face. I tried to. Yeah, this is knowing his movement phase. But in my turn, I just hold in position. I tried to shoot as much as I can. I almost killed the head race, but I didn't manage. So I was clipping combat, not too much movement from my side. I moved the Lord Celestan, and this is the point of it. I moved my Lord Celestan with the boost in the armor save, with the lantern boost. Try to protect the objective, and here is where I did, I think, the biggest mistake. The Lord Celestan was moved too close to the objectives. I should move him more farther in a way that he cannot go closer, because now he will be within 6 range of my objective, and then I cannot claim my own objective. I decide to keep Celestian Prime in reserve, because at this point I didn't know that this was the last turn. If this was the last turn, I will have decided to go second. But because I didn't know at the beginning of the turn 3, and the turn 3 take ages to go, because with all these skeletons moving, it takes a long time, I decided to keep my Lord Celestan in reserve, my Celestian Prime in reserve, because my plan was in turn 4, come with Celestian Prime and hold the objective in my opponent's side. Yeah, this is a little bit blurry image, but this is all just to show the skeletons moving ahead. And yeah, you see, this is before the assault. Here I don't know what happened, because in principle, yeah, the point is these skeletons now can get closer and can get closer less than 6 inches. It was a mistake of deploying my Lord Celestan. My Lord Celestan should be farther from the objective to create this barrier, because at the end is the Knight Venator, the Castellan, and the Prosecutors who are holding the objectives. So yeah, and this is they are just closing the gap. And the other flank, I don't care if I lose all my liberators. The retributors at the end were doing a good job. They were holding the head wraith, and they will be able to hold the other host of skeletons if it's needed. And here we see this was at the end of the turn. The skeletons completely obliterate my liberators, obliterate my judicators, but they attack my Lord Celestan. My Lord Celestan at this moment have 2+ rerolling ones. And if I pass any of the rerolls, then I do a mortal wound to this unit. So my Lord Celestan killed about 7 or 8 skeletons just with the shield, because each skeleton is doing 4 attacks, and they do 2 rounds. They can do 2 piling movements and 2 attacks in the same turn. So they really dish a lot of attacks onto my Lord Celestan. The first round of, I think I received 44 attacks from the skeletons. I managed, he made 1 wound to me, and I made 5 mortal wounds to him. Then I attacked with my Lord Celestan, I killed some more skeletons. Then they attacked me back, again 40 attacks. I recovered the wound that I received in the first turn, because I have the lantern on me. And then rolling ones, I did again 3 or 4 mortal wounds. In total, I killed the Lord Celestan, together with the Battle Shock, killed 23 skeletons in 1 turn. So really, I was impressed with what the Lord Celestan can do here. I think I underestimate him, and it's a lesson taken for next battle. So Lord Celestan, if he's playing against something that does not have Ren, and the skeletons you don't expect to have Ren, it can be very resilient and can be very discouraging for your opponents. You see, the Griffhounds have killed the Spirit Host. Here we see that these skeletons are too close, are less than 6 inches, so I cannot claim my own objective, and this was the big mistake that cost me the battle. This is all the piling. All these skeletons is what my Lord Celestan killed together with the battle. And this was the end of the battle. So it was quite painful, because yeah, I don't show the other side, but the other 40 skeletons kill my liberators, kill my judicators, and only my retributors were alive in the other flank. So the plan was not working that that bad at the end. I think the big mistake was to have the Lord Celestin too close to my objective. If not, I will have scored here the 3 points of the third turn, and then we had ended at 3-5, 3-3, 5-3. But because I made this mistake, I did not manage to score my points in the turn 3, and I end up losing 2-3. This is what I was saying. On the other side, you see also the skeletons were doing some damage. I also did damage on the skeletons. The head wraith were almost killed. Impressive that my liberators are still alive. So I still have here 5 retributors and 2 liberators. So they can. If we go to turn 4, they will keep. I will give him the initiative. So he will lose the turn just fighting here. If he kill all my retributors and all my liberators, it's okay. If they don't kill them all, I will disengage. I will create a wall and I will win another turn for the 5th turn. So I think at the end my strategy was not working that bad. And yeah, and really my Lord Celestin was holding the line very well against these skeletons. So yeah, another picture of the end of the turn. And yeah, this turn 3 take forever. Was so many rolls. He was doing in the order of so this 40. One of the units of 40 skeletons. He did about 80 attacks on the Judicators, and he did 80 attacks on the other unit of Liberators. He really did an enormous amount of attacks. So what's impressive? So he's killing you by mass attacks. But when they are against something that have 2+ armor save rolling ones, they are having issues to kill this. Especially if I can give mortal wounds by repeating the saves. And that's the end of the battle. So a pity that I could not play the turn 4th. The turn 4th, the plan was come with the Celestian Prime at the deployment zone of my enemy. He had nothing apart of Archon the Black and 1 Necromancer. I'm pretty sure the Celestian Prime with 8 attacks can kill Archon the Black. I roll to see if the charge will have, if I have closed the gap with the charge, and I will have done that. So it's a pity that we don't play the turn 4. But I think I'm happy because I think my plan was working well. I think the main mistake is to put the Lord Celestin, not to run with the Lord Celestin and leave it too close to my objective. If I had run with him, I will have be able to give more distance and avoid that the skeletons are within 6 inches of my objectives. But yeah, major victory of the death, and this cost me the first place in the tournament, but I was lucky enough to finish second in this tournament. So very happy how this list is performing. I'm playing with the Glyph Cones because I don't have another unit of prosecutors with javelins. I don't know if I will change the. I was thinking if I need to change the Glyph Cones for another 3 prosecutors with javelins, or I will do. I will eliminate one of the liberators, the Glyph Cones. I think I play, because if I want to put concursors, I was thinking if I want to add concursors to this army, then I need to eliminate 1 liberators, I need to eliminate the Glyph Cones, and I need to eliminate the prosecutors, just to put the concursors. So I'm not sure if I want to take all this from my army. I was quite happy. Maybe the only change I will add to that is changing the Glyph Cones by another unit of prosecutors with javelins. And that's all for now. You can support me in Patreon if you want, or you just share, like, subscribe. Remind, I will not add exclusive content Patreon. I want to keep my channel as open as possible, but I want to use the Patreon just to have some extra phones to be dedicated to the channel, to improve the quality, and to have more material. As all this is costing some money, and I will see I just using the money from Patreon to cover some of the expenses of doing all this work. And that's all for now. As usual, thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye.